Here we go. We're going to look at liabilities this week. And I think we've looked at assets, and now we'll look at liabilities. Liabilities may be a little less complex than what the assets were. We'll find out. You'll tell me. So first we're going to look at current liabilities versus long-term liabilities. A current liability is anything that's going to have to be paid within 1 year's time, and a long-term liability is something that goes beyond a year. Examples of current liability would be payroll, utilities payable, anything of that nature, accounts payable. Long-term liabilities would be mortgages payable or equipment payables, anything, a note payable that goes out beyond a year. And so we're going to concentrate on current liabilities in this chapter, and the first one and the most obvious one is accounts payable. And they're usually due within 30 days, and that's really current, if you want to look at it. This particular graph shows a makeup of accounts payable as a percentage of current liabilities. You'll notice varying corporations or divisions or types of industry have different percentages. But you want to look at that when you're evaluating a company. So, and then after I tell you there's long-term debt, which is over a year, sometimes you have to include that long-term debt in current liabilities because there's a portion of that long-term debt that comes due during the year, such as payments for a mortgage for the current year. Those should be included in your current liabilities. Other things that are included would be payroll and payroll taxes. That's a pretty significant part of the expenditures of a company. If it's a large company, it has quite a few employees. So it's important for many reasons. Number one, you need to realize the payroll taxes, and that's always subject to federal and state regulations and even county regulations in some cases. So you have to keep a close watch on payroll. The other one you've got to look at is, and this is kind of obvious, employees are happy when you pay them. If you don't pay them, they won't come to work for you. Or if they do come to work for you, they won't do a good job. So those are the reasons why, we have payroll taxes, and they're a current liability. Other areas that could be considered current liabilities would be employees' fringe benefits or pension plans. Again, both of these may just be the current portion. Most of the time, these are what they call accrued. They may not have occurred yet in the year, but we know that they will, such as vacation pay. And we'll look at how to accrue vacation pay. Other areas they're called post-retirement benefits, which are benefits other than pensions. Many companies will keep, your health care, take care of your health care insurance or your tuition assistance or anything of that nature after you've retired. It just sort of wraps around your life. So those have to be taken care of. And then we have something called contingent liabilities, and these are liabilities that we may have or we may not have, such as lawsuits. And you look at whether you think it's going to occur. And there are three ways of looking at it: probable, reasonably possible, and remote. If it's remote, you probably will never put it on the books. Reasonably possible, there's a little bit of gray area there, but if it's probable and it's estimatable, you will have to put it on your balance sheet, one way or the other, even if it's just in a disclosure. Finally, why do we care about all of this? Well, current liabilities versus current assets are a very good measure of how well the company's doing. And we have seen that you have a ratio called the working capital, which many people look at, and that's literally you look at current assets and subtract the the current liabilities, and in theory, that's how much capital you have to work with. You've got a current ratio, which is determined by dividing your current assets by your current liabilities. You always want that to be over 1. If not, then there are some eyebrows raised, and there's some question as to how well the company is doing. And the quick ratio, which is one that a lot of people use, very similar to the current ratio, only it is very quick assets over current liabilities. And quick assets here are things that are easily converted into cash, such as cash equivalents, cash, accounts receivable in theory, anything that you can quickly turn into cash, or an asset that you can get rid of to pay those current liabilities. So that's an overview of everything we'll be doing this week.